It's Gary here, and today I just wanted to talk a little bit about traffic. So one of the most commonly asked questions I actually get is, does traffic actually help? Does traffic of the links coming to your website actually help? So if I get backlink.com, like a guest post, and I link this to my site, mywebsite.com, does the traffic of this site, so the estimate and organic traffic in Ahrefs or SEMrush, right? So the estimate in traffic, so it's just organic traffic. Does the estimate in that traffic on those tools actually pass more juice? Okay, so if you don't know already, I actually offer traffic guarantees on my website from different packages. So that's why people usually ask this. So DR60 guest post, you can see you can get different traffic guarantees based on what you're looking for, right? So do up to 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 for this link. Okay. Now, the answer to the big question is: do I think traffic in itself is a big ranking factor? And my answer is no. I don't actually think it's a big ranking factor. I think it's quite a lot for Google to analyze and keep track of traffic and use that to pass juice. And I don't think traffic in itself from a referring link really does a lot. I think the algorithm still works in the sense of just power. Just comes down to backlink juice, comes down to some form of page rank score, or however the hell they do it now. And then you look at relevance as well, at kind of tier two, a tier one level. Sorry, so the direct link, they look at the sort of relevance score. So that's the two things I think they do. I think they weight it on power purely based on backlink juice, and I think they weight it on relevance. Okay, so that doesn't mean traffic isn't good. So I'll explain why. So for example, let's say I built a DR60 link. Okay. And let's say I built two DR60 links, right? And one of them had 120 traffic, right? And one of them had 60K traffic. Okay. What link am I going to take? Okay, because from what I just said, I was just saying, oh, it doesn't matter, right? Both links are the same because traffic doesn't matter. Well, no, because the reason why I'm going to want this DR60 link with more traffic is because it probably tells me that the links going to that site are really damn good. If a site's getting a lot of traffic for the DR level it's at, it means the links are good. The more traffic it's got really is a good indicator of the links actually being good links. You can manipulate DR and SEMrush score or whatever, Majestic, Trustflow, you can manipulate those scores so easily. So by having sites with a higher traffic, it actually makes the chances of the site being a higher quality site much more common, right? So that's why I care about traffic. It's not really because of the fact that I think traffic in itself is the ranking factor. I think it comes down to the fact that the links are going to be better if they have more traffic. So when I build links, my own affiliate sites, my own e-commerce sites, I always make sure they have a good bit of traffic on them, and that the traffic kind of matches up with the link, because I want to make sure that the link's quality, right? It's probably going to be a good quality link if it has traffic. That's why for all of our guest posts, we have 1,000+ traffic, and our niche is 100+, because we want to make sure those sites have traffic. They're not with spam penalties. They're not rubbish sites, and they're ranking for some organic stuff. Okay. Now, the other topic, and where this might be quite controversial, is CTR. Okay. So CTR stands for click-through rate, if you're not sure already. Okay. So CTR is something that a lot of people talk about. You hear people talk about CTR manipulation, how to get things ranked in Google with CTR. And CTR in itself is definitely a ranking factor, but I think people need to understand how it's a ranking factor. Okay. So what you need to understand is that Google can't track clicks. Okay. Google can't track clicks on your website, okay, without you having Google Analytics installed. Okay. And even if you do, I don't know if they do. Okay. But if you don't have Google Analytics installed, you're not using Chrome. Like, let's say I've got a website and I'm on Safari. So on the Safari browser, Google can't track the clicks on that website. Okay. They can't see what's going on. They don't have access to it. There's no code installed in that website which allows them access to see that website data. There's nothing there. So if you send some Facebook traffic to your website, they're not going to be able to see that unless you have analytics installed or some form of tracking installed in your website, which gives them that data, right? Now, this is why Google will never use CTR on your website as a #1 ranking factor, because they don't have data of everyone's websites. Something like Backlink Juice and all that stuff, they've got much, much better data on that. So they're going to give more validity to that data, right? So CTR, what I care about is that it's CTR from the sense of traffic that comes from Google, okay? So what they can track is if you rank for like, let's say you rank for payday loans online, okay? And let's say you got 20K clicks from that in a month, right? Right, let's say you rank #1 for this term, right? On your website, rank for payday loans online. So Google would know that you rank for this term. They can tell it because it's their algorithm, and they know that 20,000 people clicked on you, right? Now, imagine it was a guest post that ranked for payday loans online, right? Just for example, right? And let's say that the 20K clicks came from went to the guest post page, right? So guest post payday loans online, and this 20K clicks, right? So this is your guest post now, right? Google might give this page more credit because they know that this page is getting a huge upsurge in traffic from Google, right? So therefore, it could be a ranking factor, not because of the overall site traffic, but because the individual page that's ranking actually is getting a lot of traffic in CTR, okay? So the point I'm making is that Google can only track the clicks and the click-through rates of their own website. They can only track from Google to your website, or to your website to somebody else if you have maybe analytics installed, but they can't tell what people are clicking on your website, right? So the only CTR data they have that's a strong piece of data is coming from Google. So if you're paying for ads, or if you're clicking from Google Organic or whatever, they can tell the traffic that's coming from their search engine. Okay, so for this reason, I do believe probably that if you have a guest post that ranks for a ton of stuff, especially if it's in your niche, if you have a guest post that ranks for a ton of stuff, and that guest post gets a ton of traffic from Google, that Google might validate that guest post more and give you more of a credit for that, okay? But I don't believe the overall organic traffic is a great factor. Google can actually tell, as I say, the traffic from Google. They can tell the overall amounts of traffic that come to an overall website, just like SEMrush and Ahrefs do. Google will probably know those numbers. I don't believe right now in my testing that they do that they look at the overall search traffic and use that as a core ranking factor. I have kind of tested that. But what I believe they do is, I say, they just look at link juice and some form of page rank score, and they analyze things that way at the moment. But I don't think there's any harm in building links with traffic, and I definitely don't think there's any harm in trying to rank your guest post for things, because it's just going to get direct CTR to that page as well. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. I hope it kind of sums up the way I feel about it. As I say, I think it's good to build links with as much traffic as possible, because if that ever does become a fact, you want to be ready for it too. But I don't believe at this time that Google actually weights traffic as like a ranking factor in terms of the overall site traffic going to a website, linking down to you. All I believe that the ranking factor is a sort of CTR based thing from Google, as I'm saying. They'll validate pages more if they're already getting traffic from Google themselves, right? So that's how the big guys win, and the big guys keep winning, because they get small bits of traffic and they build it up slowly with their links, but then they eventually start ranking for the huge stuff after you rank for the smaller stuff, So you might start by ranking for payday loans online, and because you're getting a lot of clicks off this, Google's going to be like, well, they're doing really well, they're getting a great click through rate and great, very low bounce rate for payday loans online, so I'm just going to look at them for payday loans, right? So that's kind of my point, is that you can eventually grow the site that way, right? But you need to understand what Google can and can't see, and understand that if there is some form of algorithm that involves traffic, that they can only actually see stuff that, on a real level, they can only actually see stuff that comes from their search engine, or they can only see stuff that comes from analytics code that's installed on that website. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. That will kind of help you. As I say, I think it's good to build links with traffic just from a long-term point of view, and it also tells you that the links are very good. But I don't think in the current algorithm that links with traffic are like the big thing, and it's going to like move the needle 10x anything else. I still think it's mostly based off of some form of link juice or sort of page rank score. All right, so I hope this helps. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions, definitely reach out, and we'll be happy to discuss. Thank you. Bye bye.